In this video, I'm covering the black and white conversion method 10, which is basically an advanced conversion technique, which there could be 100 different iterations of. I'm just basically combining a couple of techniques you've already learned and showing you how you can manipulate them to get a different black and white conversion than just using them individually.
Yes!
Are you ready? It's Photoshop time, and you know the drill. Smack it, whack it, and crack-a-lack it.
Yes! That's awesome! What?
So once you have your image open and everything's either compressed and merged to the top layer or it's totally flattened, however you want to do it, you need to duplicate your image. Go up to Image and Duplicate. Remember, this is going to duplicate the image into its own file. You can rename it here. I'm just going to let this be the copy. Delete that one. Don't save. Command 0 to fill screen. And essentially, I want to convert this duplicated image to lab mode. So I'll do Image, Mode, Lab Color. Then we'll go to the Channels panel. Select the lightness channel, which is all the white to black point data from this entire file. I'm going to hit Command A for select all, Command C for copy all. I'm going to toggle this image back open, go to layers, and I can either add a blank layer and then hit Command or Control V, or if I had just hit Command or Control V, it would have automatically added a new layer and pasted it inside. So remember which one this is. I'm going to name this lightness. Now create 3 more layers. Here's the add layer icon. 1, 2, 3. Go to the top one. Double click on the layer 3 name, red, green, blue. Now I'm going to turn off the visibility of the lightness channel. And then I'm going to copy and paste each color channel into these corresponding layers. So you have to go to the channels to get them. But here's the interesting thing. Notice I can see the channels, right? So if I want to copy the red, Command A, Command C, I get this thing. It says could not complete the copy command because the selected area is empty. If you get this, know that you've actually got to be on the original color background layer to access the color channels and actually be able to do something with them. So now I'll come back to the channel, select red, Command A, Command C, come back to layers, select my red layer, Command V. Now I've got to go back and reselect that color background layer, go back to channels, select green, Command A, Command C, come back over here, select green, Command V, reselect the background layer, channels, blue, Command A, Command C, come back over, select the blue layer, Command V for paste. So now I have all of the benefits of all the color channels as layers that I can manipulate. Here's the red. I liked how that made the sky and the water darker. Here's the green, and then here's the blue. Actually, I think I like the way the trees and the houses look in the blue. And then again, we have our lightness channel down here, which is just all the black and white point data that we may need to fade back to. One conversion method that I like to do is I'll leave all of these on and I'll add a hide all layer mask. Remember, you do that by holding the Alt or Option key as you add a layer mask. That way it comes in as black. Remember, black conceals everything on this layer, so it's basically hiding everything on that layer. I'll select this layer, hold down the Alt or Option key, add another black mask, select the blue one, Alt or Option key while I add a layer mask, and that's another one. So essentially all I'm seeing is this lightness layer, right? Giving me a parameter of what a generic black and white conversion looks like. So now I can go customize it to taste. Remember up here on the red, if I need to see what this image looks like, just hold down the Shift key and click on the layer. It'll put a red X and basically cancel out that mask. Okay, so the red really made that sky dark and the water dark. I like that. So I'm going to tap B for the brush. I'm going to look at my foreground. Hopefully it's already white. If it's not, I can click this little icon right here. Look up at my tool menu. Notice I'm at normal at 100%, which is where I want to be. Right bracket key to make my brush bigger. And I'm just going to paint with 100%. Now see what's happening. It's making all of my stuff lighter. Well, that's because I'm on this blue layer, which made the sky lighter and made the buildings darker. So I'll hit Command Z to do that. All you have to do is just make sure you're on the right layer. So go up to the red layer, make sure the little white corners are around the black mask on the red layer, and then paint. And I'm painting at 100%, so I'm getting 100% of the effect. I like that. I know that I like the houses here in the blue, so I'll select the blue and I'll paint all the houses in. Okay, now looking at that, they're looking a tiny bit flat. So I think I'd like to come back to this blue. I'll tap X, left bracket key for smaller. And I was like, you know, this house would look a lot better lighter. And the red made it lighter, right? So if I hide what's on the blue layer, that means that white layer that's up above it is going to show. And then where else does it look a little muddy? Maybe this house could be lighter. Maybe this whole little area. Maybe this area. This area could be just a little lighter. You see how you have the ability to bring back exactly what it is that you want to see and control? And then after you've made all your adjustments to taste, I like to merge everything I've done into its own layer by hitting Command Option Shift letter E. Now I Command J that to duplicate it. So I can go over to Camera Raw, and Camera Raw processing engine is so powerful, and it has all these interactive visual-based sliders that make it very easy to make quick decisions. Like this would definitely be an image I would pull up the clarity and dehaze since it's kind of more of a landscape. I might open up the shadows a bit, but pull down the highlights to make sure I'm not blowing out anything. Maybe I would add a subtle vignette and bit of noise reduction. And I like where that is. I'll hit OK. So I can toggle, this is where I was, this is where I am now. And actually, I don't think I would blend back in. I think I would just make some obvious things like what bothers you about the image. For me, there's some distracting elements that need to be there. Obviously, these buoys are there for a purpose, but they don't need to be there for my photograph. So I would use a spot retouching brush, spot healing brush, and just tap out anything that was visually distracting that if I could remove it if I were on site and had the ability, I would. I like that black and white conversion. I had a lot of control over what twisted to where. Here's a good time to go add a color lookup table. I would click the color lookup table, go down to the 3D LUT file, hit the drop down. And this is a good one for maybe the edgy amber to get a more timeless look. And remember, as always, everything comes in at 100%, so you can lower the opacity to make it not quite as strong. I'll toggle that off. So now let's add an additional color adjustment layer by clicking on this. Go down to Futuristic Bleak. That has a nice look. I'll turn that eyeball off. I'll come up and add another color adjustment layer. And maybe I would try Horror Blue. Lower the opacity to taste. Actually, I kind of like that look. Turn that off. And I'll add another color adjustment lookup, because this one begs to be called Foggy Night. Yeah, how is that not simply awesome? Holy moly, Batman. That is awesome. I know, right? Let's get back to the lecture. If you ever need to, and you want to double the effect and then use blend modes to create a different effect, just hit Command or Control J on the adjustment layer. Obviously that looks horrible, but I know I want to brighten it. So I'll go up to my layer blend mode of screen and see how that gives it a nice kind of washed out look. And as always, I can lower the opacity of this just so it just affects it minimally. Anyway, I hope this has given you some really creative ideas of how to convert your own images to black and white and color and tone them to give the correct mood that you want to convey to dazzle all of us. Can't wait to see what you do.
Yes!
Hey, what are you still doing here? It's over. Actually, all kidding aside, I hope this video helped, and if it did, consider subscribing. I like subscribers.
That's awesome! What? You just took one in the jugular, man! Whoa! Yes! God, I did.
Hey, you stayed to the end. You know what that means? You're awesome. I'm talking about you. Now get out of here.